Welcome to the delivery space. There's a lot of pros and cons when you're out there on the road, and there's a lot of positives and negative traits that you can do when you're out there working. But in my opinion, there's really only one absolute worst. The worst thing that you can do on these delivery platforms. And surprisingly, 30% of you have admitted to doing this. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and if you're new here, this channel is dedicated to your success in this gig economy, the side hustle. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Also, make sure to check out our brand new Discord community and my Amazon storefront, both linked down below in the description. So like I mentioned, whether you're working for DoorDash, Postmates, Grubhub, or Uber Eats, basically all of these apply to you. So let's get into some of the bad things, and then of course we'll culminate in that very worst thing. Number one, don't do this. I've done it. It's not worth it. It's a pain, and it's going to cause you more delays. That's not bringing your phone into the restaurant. And I did that because I had a phone holder that was kind of a pain to take in and out. I'm like, all right, forget it. I know the customer name. I'm just going to go in there and say, hey, I got to pick up for so-and-so. But it's going to be a pain, and don't do this because some of these restaurants are going to confirm either that customer name, the platform, or the order contents. They'll say just that. They'll say, can I see the order number? Can I see the app? Can I see the contents to verify? So don't do that. That's very bad practice. Number two, I've said it before, that's not using a hot and cold bag. And yes, if you go into the terms of service of some of these apps, it says that those are optional. But in my opinion, they're basically mandatory. Because in my opinion, it looks unprofessional when you're just chilling there, you roll up with really nothing, and the customer's order is just sitting there either on the floor of your car or on the passenger seat. Now, usually you don't have to worry about this because some platforms like Grubhub, DoorDash, and Postmates will give you a free hot and cold bag. So especially if they give you a free one, use it. Number three, I've done this. It's not worth it. I'm sure some of you have done this as well. That's illegal parking. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like stressing when I'm doing the pickup or the drop off. So why would you stress about your vehicle parked illegally outside? Because we all know what's going to happen. That's the time that restaurant's going to have a delay. Or that's the delivery that it's going to take you especially long to find the customer. And I'm sure you're like me, I don't like paying parking tickets, so don't park illegally. Number four, a very bad thing, especially if you're new or hey, even if you're experienced, when it comes to your revenue, that's accepting every order. I know it's convenient, and I know you don't want to waste your time. So you may say, hey, if I ignore this one, I don't really know when my next order is going to come. And that's true. So that's why you want to study when it's busiest. Ideally capitalize on some per delivery bonuses. But even if you don't have bonuses, and yes, even if it's not super busy, I don't want you to accept absolutely everything. Because yes, you're going to cash flow, right? You're going to generate some income. But when it comes down to the numbers, you may actually be losing some money on some of those runs, because sometimes you may have to drive back to the starting location. You've heard it before, the dollars to mile ratio, how far am I driving and how much am I getting paid for it? Make sure that makes sense. Number five, another bad thing is not checking out my Amazon storefront, linked down below, get the very best accessories. Okay, now let's get into the absolute worst thing that you can do as a DoorDash dasher or Postmates, Uber Eats, Grubhub, any of them. So I remember this statistic, so I had to look it up. So I found this article from last year. And the worst thing you can do is giving into temptation and eating something from the order. Now, I know you would never do that. I would certainly never do that. But statistically, 30% of you watching this have given into that temptation. This is from a study of over 500 drivers, and close to 30%, 28% actually, admitted to breaking to that temptation. Now, interestingly, about 50% of drivers admitted to at least being tempted to. And I'll admit, I have certainly been tempted. I've never done it, but I have certainly been tempted to just grab a little sample from your customer's order. That is the worst thing you can do. Well, maybe you don't think it's that big of a deal, or maybe your customer won't even notice that missing pepperoni. Well, your customers were surveyed as well on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 representing not a big deal and a 10 representing absolutely unacceptable. Well, the average response, 8.4. So yeah, that means your customers would be pretty pissed if they found out that missing pepperoni or if they discovered that you snacked on the French fries. So ways to combat that: obviously don't do it, but here's another hack. One of the things that I recommend is simply bring some food and a drink with you during these shifts, because if you schedule these shifts, at a minimum, I'm usually out there 2-3 hours, and more standard shifts about 4+ hours. You're gonna get hungry if you don't bring food, because I can basically guarantee you're not gonna have the urge to snack if you're full. I would bring lunch or dinner or breakfast, whatever, if you're driving early. I would bring snacks, and even just kind of a thermos or a water bottle just to fill up on something, so you're not part of that 50%, or even worse, that 28% that breaks. And something else that I've noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed as well, are the restaurants taking steps to combat this, especially in today's landscape, by, of course, sealing delivery bags. So let me know down below in the comments, is there anything worse than breaking to the temptation and taking a snack from your customer's order? Because that's pretty bad. But if you got value in this video, definitely leave a like. Check those links down below in the description as well. You can click or tap the screen now for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you, and I'll see you in the next one.